Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 5. If you missed the last episode, the link is in the description. Now let's jump into the story. So far, Jinwoo has entered an A-rank dungeon with a group that's there just to mine. But Jinwoo isn't really there to mine. He's planning to fight the dungeon boss. Suddenly, Cha Hai-in shows up behind him and asks what he's doing there. Jinwoo quickly lies and says he got lost and ended up in the wrong place. Cha Hai-in asks if he's part of the mining team and reminds him that he's standing right in front of the boss room. Jinwoo is surprised because he didn't even realize she was behind him. He thinks to himself how strong and skilled Cha Hai-in must be. He quickly hides his weapon, and Cha Hai-in starts to doubt herself. Just a second ago, she was sure he was holding a weapon, but now it's gone. Cha Hai-in tells Jinwoo to leave the boss room because if the boss gets angry, it could put the whole mining team in danger. Jinwoo starts to leave, but when he walks past her, she suddenly stops him. She sniffs the air and says, "You don't smell bad." Then she asks if he's really a hunter. She checks his ID card, sees his name and rank, and then lets him go. Cha Hai-in actually has a very sensitive nose. She can smell strong, unpleasant scents coming from both monsters and hunters. That's why she usually keeps a handkerchief over her nose. But Jinwoo is the first hunter she's met who doesn't have that bad smell. In fact, she thinks he smells nice. Jinwoo goes back to the mining team, and they're shocked. They say, "You actually talked to Cha Hai-in? That's so lucky." She usually comes into the dungeon during lunch breaks to make sure the boss doesn't escape and hurt the workers. Since she can't stand the smell of most hunters, she always carries a handkerchief to block the scent. Now Jinwoo starts thinking, why does he smell different from other hunters? Even Baruka had said he's not like a normal human. Maybe it's because he's part of the system as a player. In the evening, Jinwoo gets paid for the day. The team leader praises him and says they finished their work early because of how hard Jinwoo worked. He says he's been doing this job for years but has never seen anyone as hardworking as Jinwoo. He even offers Jinwoo a permanent job on the mining team, but Jinwoo politely says no. He explains that he just wanted to see what an A-rank dungeon raid looks like. Also, his rank will be updated in 2 days, so things might change for him soon. Then the leader tells him that the Hunter Guild is going into another A-rank dungeon tomorrow, but with a different team. After hearing that, Jinwoo says he'll join them again. The leader is really happy and says he'll talk to the boss to give Jinwoo double pay, since Jinwoo works as hard as 5 people all by himself. That night, Cha Hai-in calls someone and asks for information about Jinwoo. The person tells her that even Mr. Choi asked about Jinwoo the day before, but the Hunter Association has locked all of Jinwoo's information. That kind of thing has never happened for a low-ranked hunter before, so there must be something special about him. Cha Hai-in thinks to herself that she has met many hunters, but Jinwoo is the only one who smells nice. The next day, Jinwoo goes back to work as a laborer. The mining team is really happy to see him again. Their friendly attitude reminds Jinwoo of his old team. First, they go into a C-rank dungeon. Thanks to Jinwoo, the work finishes very quickly. Or after lunch, they are supposed to enter an A-rank dungeon. Once again, the team leader offers Jinwoo a full-time job and says he'll pay him 5 times more. But Jinwoo says no again. Just then, Captain Sun Ki-hoon, the leader of today's strike team, shows up. He says their porter didn't come, so they need someone to help carry their stuff. The mining team members are all low-ranked hunters, so they're too scared to go into an A-rank dungeon during a battle, even if they're offered more money. Then Jinwoo raises his hand and says he'll do it. The others try to warn him. They say there will be strong A-rank monsters inside, and it could be dangerous for him. But Jinwoo says he's not scared. He explains that today's dungeon isn't as dangerous as yesterday's, which is why a different team was sent this time. This team has 6 A-rank hunters and 3 B-rank hunters, but no S-rank hunter. After that, everyone goes into the dungeon together. Jinwoo notices that this dungeon has less magic energy than the one yesterday, but something still feels strange to him. A girl from the team tells Jinwoo not to worry. The captain and the other hunters are really strong. As long as he stays close to them, he'll be safe. This girl is the team's healer. Sun Ki-hoon is leading a raid for the first time. If this mission goes well, he'll officially become the team captain. He's not as powerful as Choi or Cha Hai-in, but he's still a strong A-rank hunter. Suddenly, the team sees something and gets ready to fight. A group of jackals, C-rank monsters, attacks them, and the hunters start fighting back. All of them have strong magic powers and easily defeat the jackals using their abilities. Now the team starts wondering, why are jackals, C-rank monsters, in an A-rank dungeon? There's nothing here for them to hunt. They should have died by now. Jinwoo then notices something strange. The jackals are wearing collars. That means someone raised them on purpose. Just then, stronger monsters show up. High orcs. Everyone gets scared because these orcs are smart and powerful. The orcs begin attacking the hunters with great strength. They go straight for the healers, who are the weakest in the group. The mages try to fight back with magic, but it doesn't work on the orcs. One girl tries to trap the orcs with binding magic, but the monsters break free easily. Another mage summons fire soldiers to help fight. The other hunters also jump in to attack, but it's clear they're not strong enough. There are also fewer hunters than orcs. Even the A-rank hunters are having a hard time, and the B-rank hunters are doing even worse. One orc even cuts off a B-rank hunter's hand. A hunter named Lee traps the orc using her magic, and the healer quickly heals the injured hunter. But suddenly, a huge orc appears behind the healer. She realizes she's going to die. Then out of nowhere, the orc's neck is crushed and it dies. The healer is shocked and doesn't know what just happened. It was actually Jinwoo. He used his stealth skill to turn invisible and save her. Jinwoo starts attacking the orcs by cutting their arms and legs to make them weaker. This way, the other hunters can kill them more easily. He doesn't want anyone to know about his powers, but he also can't just watch someone die. So while staying invisible, he weakens all the orcs. Then the hunters finish them off. Everyone is confused. The orcs suddenly became weak, but no one knows why. Still, they're just happy they survived. But one person, a magic caster named Lee, saw everything. She noticed what Jinwoo was doing, even though he was invisible. She thinks, Jinwoo must be keeping it a secret for a reason, and decides not to tell anyone what she saw. Now the hunters ask Captain Ki-hoon if they should keep going deeper into the dungeon or just go back, since things are getting too dangerous. Ki-hoon decides it's best to leave, but when they try to go back, they find out they can't. There's a magical barrier at the gate blocking the way out. Lee says she might be able to break the barrier, but it will take some time. She thinks a powerful monster in the dungeon is the one who put it there. As the mages try to break the barrier, they start to feel weak and tired. Then suddenly everyone feels a scary and powerful magical energy. They turn around and see an entire army of high orcs coming toward them. If they fight now, they know they'll be killed. One of the orcs steps forward and Ki-hoon walks up to him. The orc speaks in a strange language that no one understands. Then the orc's body is taken over by someone else, his boss. The boss introduces himself and says, "Humans, my name is Kargalgan, and I wish to meet you." He's the one who created the barrier. He says he's the most powerful sorcerer in the tribe and the strongest being in this dungeon. Now the hunters have two choices: either fight his army and die, or go to his palace to meet him. Ki-hoon tells the orc that they want to meet the boss. Then he quietly tells Jinwoo, "As soon as we see the boss, we'll attack him. That will distract him, and the barrier might disappear. When that happens, you run out and tell the S-rank team what's going on." Jinwoo says, "But you'll all die." Ki-hoon replies, "Our job is to defeat the boss and close the gate, not to stay alive." Then the healer gives Jinwoo her diary and says, "Please give this to my family. We have to finish our mission, but you can still survive." Jinwoo thinks to himself, "This reminds me of the double dungeon, but back then my team left me behind to save themselves. This time it's different. These people are willing to die so I can escape." He takes the diary. Meanwhile, outside the dungeon, Cha Hai-in shows up. She came to see Jinwoo. The mining team leader tells her that Jinwoo went inside the dungeon with the strike team as a porter. Back inside, all the hunters are taken to Kargalgan's palace. He sits on his throne and welcomes them. And that's where the episode ends. So will they be able to defeat the boss? Will Jinwoo step in and do something? To find out, make sure you don't miss the next episode. If you enjoyed the video, drop a comment with your thoughts, give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. See you in the next video.